everyone, it's Rachel, and I know it's been quite a while since I posted anything to my YouTube channel, but I've been super busy with work, I've been super busy with just everyday things, and I could not find the time to make a video. But I'm going to try to be a lot better and do a weekly video, either a vlog or, an actual, informative video about rat-related things, but don't quote me on that. I will definitely try my hardest to do that. But like I said, I'm very busy with work. I work 5 days a week, and sometimes I can't find the time to do anything more than just work and eat and live, what life I have. But anyway, in the video that I have for you today, it's going to be my top 5 products for rats. My personal favorite products for rats that I use for my own on a daily basis. And some of them are going to be pretty commonplace, everyone knows that these are the top products, but I just thought I would just make a video on it. Some of these, like I said, they're well known, everyone's going to know, yeah, that's probably the top product in the first place. But some of these are a little bit, not the most popular choices, or, some people might not even know about these. But anyway, my first top favorite product is going to be this sucker here. This is my Double Critter Nation. I absolutely love this cage. It is their home. This is their home, and it's just absolutely perfect. It has 2 levels. You're seeing one now. This is the bottom level, and I have a tray in the bottom to use as a base litter pan, and then it has its own little tray here, and then you go up to the top level, and you can see that it has a solid floor and then a level for them to have an extra living level. But anyway, I paid a fairly decent amount for this cage. In my opinion, it is pricey. It's very pricey, but like I said, it is the top of the line when it comes to rat cages, in my opinion. I paid a total of $214, and I bought it in 2 orders. The first one I found, oh, and by the way, this is a used cage. I bought this off of Amazon warehouse deals. The whole setup, other than the accessories and the base pan here, well, was from Amazon warehouse deals, which is returned items or used items, and mine was listed as used, and I mean, it came pretty much brand new in the package. It was sealed up and everything. Everything was there. I was very surprised that this was returned or listed as used when it was in such great condition. And for that one, the base area, this bottom part, when I had the single, I paid $99 with free shipping, and it was fairly quick shipping. It took about a week, maybe, yeah, but for what I was getting, I was completely okay with that. That was the greatest thing ever. I had it set up in about 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then for the top, I had to pay $114. Yeah, $114 for the add-on, and again, it was from the warehouse deals, and it was in perfect condition. I don't understand why someone would return it, and why it was listed as used when it was in brand new shape. It was very easy to put it together, to add the unit onto it. Very, very simple. It just, I'm not short, but I'm a little bit average, and it was hard to put the top on. But other than that, this is the perfect cage for rats. in my opinion. I feel like it was designed with them in mind, especially in mind for this cage. It has 1/2 inch bar spacing, and the bars are pretty sturdy. I don't think my rats are going to be like bashing into them and breaking through the bars anytime soon. But it's 1/2 inch bar spacing, and it's horizontal, which is great because rats love to climb. And horizontal actually makes it very, very simple to add, you know, accessories in there. A lot of times, you know, vertical cages, it's kind of hard to, vertical bar cages, it's kind of hard to find things that will attach to it. Like your water bottle. Like if you have a vertical bar spacing and the crossbars are only every so often, that is as high as your water bottle can be. That is as high as your food bin can be. And the hammocks makes it really, really nice to have horizontal bar spacing to hang hammocks and treats and toys and just basically any kind of cage accessory to the cage. But like I said, $214 total, and this is a solid cage. It's not going anywhere. It's not gonna break anytime soon. It's not going to, you know, they're not gonna outgrow it like, you know, the starter cages, which I think is kind of, personally, I feel like is almost a little bit of bull, because they grow really fast, and you really have to be completely prepared when they're babies for when they get older, because once they grow into their starter cage, you pretty much immediately have to find a larger cage because they do grow so fast. So this would work for babies because they can't get their heads and bodies through the cages, and not like infants and like little babies, but like, you know, 4 to 6 weeks. This would be perfect because it'll be huge to them, and as they grow up, this will be their permanent cage. And I do plan on in the future getting the additional add-on, which would make this a triple Critter Nation, but at the moment I don't feel like it's completely necessary. Plus, like I said, I'm 5'7", so it would be kind of difficult to clean it, and I don't like ladders, so I would not be climbing on a ladder. But I love this cage. They love this cage. My brother calls it a palace for rats. So if you can afford to get this, I highly recommend this cage. I mean, I can't stress that enough, that this will be a lifelong cage. And then afterwards, like, you know, I don't like thinking about it, but when they do pass on, it'll still be here for me to continue my love and passion of having rats as pets. And even then, like, even if I just decide that I can't stand the heartbreak anymore because they have such short lives, I mean, this would work perfect for a bird. If I decided that I actually like the sound of noisy birds, then you could use this for a bird. And a multitude of other animals like ferrets. A chinchilla would go great in this. I've even heard of Syrian hamsters using a Critter Nation as their cage. So, I mean, this would be perfect for a multitude of other animals and will last a lifetime. Alright, the second on my top 5 rat products is going to have to be the Oxbow Regal Rat Adult Rat Food. This is the 20-pound bag, and it cost me around $50, and I bought this a couple of months ago. I feel like it's been 2 or 3 months, probably just 2 months, but I bought the large size because I was going through the smaller 3-pound bags, like 2 a month, and that was about half the cost of one of these per month, and I was out before then, so I would have really needed about 3 bags to last me the full month, and it just would cost more in the long run than buying this. I absolutely love the fact that this is available in America, and I understand that there are people in other countries where they do not have foods of the quality of the Oxbow Regal rat, adult rat food. But this food, let's see, it says it is nutritionally complete with added vitamins and minerals, no seeds, sugary fruits, or nuts. Because it is a pellet, it's not going to be a mix where they have the option of choosing all of the pumpkin seeds and leaving back the barley or things like that. It also has no artificial preservatives, colors, or flavors, which is absolutely great, because there are so many problems that can come from using artificial colors in rat foods. One that I know for sure is the color red in the food. Red 40, it can, even red 5 can cause very, very severe problems. Like, it can cause cancers, it can cause intestinal swelling, it can even cause genetic damage, which a lot of times causes cancers. But this is a great food. The only real issues that I have with it is that it does contain non-GMO, I think soy. Yeah, it contains non-GMO soy, which can and can't be a problem. It really depends on your preferences when it comes to what you want to use. But when the options are like KT rat food, which is loaded with corn, and corn can contain mold spores and just does all kinds of nasty, horrible things, you know, I can justify the non-GMO corn, soy, and it doesn't bother me as much as the others. But they do have one for younger rats, because specifically on the packaging this says that it is for rats 4 months and older. But the only thing is that the one that they produce for young rats and mice contains alfalfa and dried corn, which is pretty much the same as the other ones if you think about it. You know, there's been a lot of evidence that alfalfa can cause intestinal blockages, and then the corn, like I said, can contain mold spores, which definitely isn't a good thing. I mean, we wouldn't eat anything that was moldy. I mean, besides maybe blue cheese if you like it, but still. But the biggest difference between the one for the young rat and the one for the adult rat is the protein levels and the fat levels. And when you have young rats, they do need a higher protein value. Like, you could just feed them this and increase their proteins and their fats by giving them meats. Or if you don't want to give them meats, you can actually just give them, you know, extra soybeans or things like that, which would increase the protein value of the adult rat ones. And then by the time they get 4 months old, you do need to stop giving them those extra proteins, because they can cause them to develop allergies. And then you have all kinds of skin conditions that are going to be a problem. But just in my personal opinion and in my personal experiences, the day I brought my rats home, they went on the Oxbow Regal adult rat food, and I bought them between 4 and 6 weeks of age. So what I did was I just increased their protein by giving them meats, by giving them baked chicken bones, sometimes even raw, which is a little bit of a conundrum for some people, because they don't understand that these are different animals than us, and they have a different gut flora, and it can handle the raw foods. But when it comes to it, I honestly feel like the adult Regal rat food is by far way better than anything you can give when it comes to a pellet mix or a pellet type food. And you will not have to switch once you get them on it, unless they develop some type of food allergy to something that is in it, or they just become completely obese, and you have to find something with a lower fat, which is going to be kind of hard because, let's see, I should have said this, but it's on the front. The protein level in this is 15. The fat level in this is 4. And when it comes down to it, there's not much rat food or any type of food that's going to be a lower than 4 in fats that is going to be nutritionally balanced enough to give you healthy rats. Alright, and the next item that I highly recommend for rat owners is actually a ferret litter. This is the Marshall Premium Ferret Litter. It is 100% newspaper. It contains nothing else. There's no odor eliminants or anything like that in there. It's just processed newspaper. And it works pretty good for absorbing moisture, and it pulls moisture out of the fecal matter, but it doesn't do great for smells unless you stir it up as it, as it sits. It kind of forms in almost this like mass, and what I do is I just use an old spoon and I will just stir it around to aerate the litter, and I don't change it out too often. I do change out their potty pan up there, but I don't change out their bottom pan here that often. I do it probably once a month, and I will just stir it up. And what the stirring of it does is it eliminates clumps and will cause them to have to air out. And when they clump up, they're not going to eliminate moisture, which is the main cause of the odors that are going to be coming from their litter box. But I get this, this one was $11, but it is the 18-pound bag. You can find the 10-pound bag for I think it's about $6 on Dr. Foster's and Smith, and the price does fluctuate with most companies that you can order it from. If you want to pay a set price, you're going to pay more by going to a pet store. And when I buy it online, I normally buy it in the larger bags or 2 of the smaller bags, which is going to be a little bit more, but not horribly so. And I will just keep it sealed up like this, upside down, so that it will not get any moisture in it, which will reduce its effectiveness at all. And but like I said, the 18-pound is $11.99. That's how much I paid for it. You may find it for less, you may find it for more. You just have to look. And I will be posting links to where I typically buy these products from in the description box below, just in case you want to go and check them out and see if the prices that I found them for are feasible for you. And like I said, you might find them for cheaper elsewhere. But the next product that I have is kind of a little bit of a strange one, I guess. But they do sell these for birds and other animals. But it is the dog Crate Crocs that you can buy at like Walmart. This one's a little dirty. I just pulled it out of their cage. But anyway, it's like this, and it is a bowl that attaches to the bars of the cage, either in a horizontal way or vertical way. And what it is basically a food bowl. And I have 2 of these. I have this size, and then I have the size up, which is a little bit larger. You can basically fit this in there, but it's larger than this one, and I use this one for their mix, and I use the larger one for their Oxbow. But basically, I love these because when you need to fill them up or clean them, all you have to do is screw off the bowl, and you don't have to remove this unless you're cleaning it. And because it is covered by the bowl, it typically doesn't get very dirty. But this is very, very, very convenient to be able to remove the bowl so that you can go and wash it, so that every time you put food in there, they have it in a clean bowl, and that, you know, you don't have to go through the process of removing this every single time you need to fill up their bowl or wash it out. But you just, and then you just click it back on like this, like that, and then it's secure, and they're not going to be able to dump over their bowl, which I really like, because I was having to completely throw out handfuls of food pretty much on a daily, almost to semi-daily, like every other day basis, because they were just knocking over their bowl, and it was just getting everywhere, and it was very unhygienic, and I wasn't going to leave their food sitting there in the floor of their cage and then have them re-eat it, because I didn't think that was very hygienic. But anyway, I love these. I bought mine at Walmart. I paid $7 for the larger one that I have, and then this one was, I think, $6. It's 5 something, but still around $6. And I love these. I highly recommend these for rat owners because they're pretty indestructible. They're not going to break. Mine have not chewed on them. I think they don't really like the texture of it. It's very slick and it's very shiny, but it is a perfect bowl for their food, and I just love the ease of access when it comes to removing this from the cage to clean the bowl or fill it up. Now, the next product that I have is a pretty necessary product when it comes to rats, and it is a water bottle. Now, the thing about this one, it is a glass water bottle, and I love this because it is pretty much indestructible. There is very little plastic, just that little white piece there is exposed plastic, and they can't get to it. But glass water bottle is perfect for sanitary reasons, because you can actually put this in the dishwasher and not have to worry about the plastic getting too hard or it leaching out chemicals into their water. And it is a double ball water bottle, so that means that there are 2 ball bearings in the spout here, and they both help to keep the water from leaking but do not stop the water from coming out of the bottle. And the other unique thing about this is the shape of it and the design of the spout. The shape of it helps it to fit very flush against the cage bars, either on the inside or the outside. And the mounting equipment, which I failed to remove from the cage, is very, very sturdy. There's not much going to tear this up. You just kind of, it has a spring that goes around here and attaches to the bars of the cage, and then there is a mount here that holds the bottle up. And they are both made from very, very sturdy materials, metal for the base and then metal for the top part. And the other ingenious thing is the design of the spout is that it can be moved to face different directions depending on the way the cage bars work. Now, in the double Critter Nation, I have to have it mounted on the inside because it does not fit through the bars here in order for them to drink out of it. Because the bar spacing is small, which is very beneficial, but this will not work on the outside of your cage if you have a Critter Nation. It will work if you have a Ferret Nation, but not a Critter Nation. But when I have this mounted in the cage, I just have the spout like this with the flush area there, and when it's attached to the cage, there is really no knocking this down. There's no chewing through it, and when they can even climb up onto the top of this to get to their hammocks at the top, and this basically, it does not move. It's very sturdy, and this costs around $10 or more, depending on the size that you get. There are multiple sizes, and you can find them at your local pet store, sometimes for cheaper actually than you can find online. And I paid $10 and change for this, and I have seen similar brands and then the same brand online for actually more money. And this is actually the KT water bottle. And this is really great because I kept having problems from the cheaper plastic ones leaking out, and then they would occasionally chew on them, and I don't really like that they chewed on them because like I said, I work. I can't afford to come home to a soaked cage and thirsty rats. But anyway, I have not had a problem with this leaking unless when you, I'm not sure if this is even going to be visible on camera, but when you take the lid off, there is actually a rubber stopper on the inside, and when you remove the lid from the bottle, the friction actually pulls this rubber stopper out. But to fix that, all you have to do is just push the rubber stopper back in, and then when you put it back on, it will be flush and secure and not leak in the slightest. But that is my favorite water bottle of all that I have bought in the past. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and share, and if you have any comments or questions about the products that I talked about, or if you'd just like to let me know what your favorite products for your rats are, that way I can test them out and see if they work for me, just comment down below, and then I will be sure to get back to you and reply. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off now, and y'all have a wonderful day.